Good morning, potato chips, wee Paddy from across the shuck, and I hope yous are all doing well. Now, I'm doing this, there's an open tag going about lockbacks, so I'm going to do that open tag, and it's probably the last open tag I'm going to do for about 2 weeks because I have so many videos that have piled up behind me that I need to catch up on. But that's not a problem. I love doing open tags. I think it's great. I often put them out myself, and it's just nice to see other knives. I've tried to pick knives that I haven't seen on other channels, or not all the channels anyway, because there's obviously duplicates. I love lockbacks. My most used knife in all my collection is a lockback. If you've been with me, you'll probably know what it is, but you will see it before this video's out. But here's a little start of the ones that I'm going to show you. But first, and most importantly, I awoke this morning to find out that I had an email from Rick over at Warthog. And it just made my morning. It put a smile back on my face just to hear from him. Now, as you know, Rick hadn't been well. He'd gone into hospital for some tests and treatment. And then, bless him, he'd caught COVID. And he's had a hell of a battle with COVID. He is now on the upward end of that battle. Praise God. I just hope that's going to happen. And he's this week going to be starting physical therapy because just to get him back on his feet again, he hasn't walked or done anything for so long. So they're going to try and get him that, and he's hoping to get home as soon as he possibly can to continue his other treatments. I'm not going to go into his treatments. That's Rick's business. He'll tell you that whenever he gets home. And I just pray that it's quick and he gets there safely and gets to spend a wee bit more time with us. I miss him. So that just made my day. So if you're out there, you're wondering, he's on the downward, the upward healing from the COVID. He just needs to get over that, get some physical therapy, get walking again, and then hopefully he'll maybe get home and continue the rest of his treatments. So that's just the best news I could have had today. I'm over the moon. So what have I got here? Lockbacks. I'm going to start with, this is one of the cheapest little lockbacks you'll ever find. This is a little San Remo scalpel. Look how thin that is. That's as thin, if not thinner, than a chaparral, and the blade's probably not that much shorter. This cost about £4 when I bought it. This was probably one of the first dozen knives I bought when I started the channel from San Remo. I used to get an awful lot of knives from GearBest and AliExpress, but San Remo really do build amazing little small pocket knives. They used to have, I don't know whether they still have now. I know they've gone more into the bigger modern ones. But this is just, look at the detail in this wee knife. For like a £4 knife, it's brass, metal. It's a little lockback. It's got a little boy dent in it there. It is like a scalpel. And I seriously mean, I will take the finger clean off you. So, that's my first one that I'm going to show you. And I carried and used this so many times in the past. It's not something I carry much now because I've got others now that I carry. The next one is a Spyderco. Well, it's not a Spyderco, it's a Bird, which is the subsidiary models made in China, 8CR13 MOV. This is their equivalent of the Dragonfly. And it's an absolutely brilliant little knife. With this forward choil, medium large hand, I can get 4 full fingers on this and do as much work as I like. Probably not even 2 inches on that blade, but it can do most of the work I need to do in a day. And I genuinely love this. And it's so much cheaper to buy over here. Buying a Bird, all right, you don't get the VG10 steel, but 8CR13, a little small knife like this, not a problem. I can sharpen, so it's never going to be a problem. It's great for just a little throw in your tracksuit when you're going to the gym or something like that, so that you have a knife with you. And it will certainly cover most tasks you'll ever come across. And this is a newer one to me. Although, I'm saying that's probably been a couple of years, but this is the Buck 55. I never really fancied the big buck, which I have now. and I wish I'd have got it years ago. I only got it this year, the buck 110. But this one I went for instead, which is the buck 55, which is just half the size of the main buck, I believe. And an absolutely beautiful wood handles, brass. I don't shine brass, so I know that'll upset people. But this little hollow grind, again, it's just another little scalpel for doing small tasks. Box opening, anything like that, any small tasks. This is an absolute treasure. And beautiful lockup. Made in America, I believe. But a beautiful, beautiful little knife. The next one was one of my first knives I ever bought. It was in the first video, and I called it the Delica Killer because it's just a Ganzo version of the Spyderco. An absolute treat of a knife. Yeah, I know they've taken a few things, but hey, that's not my fault. I bought it. It cost about £8. I think they're about £10 now. You get 440C on it. It is an absolutely cracker, thin blade stock, much like a Delica, but you get a forward choil that's not on a Delica, and you get the oval hole instead of the circle. But again, a beautiful four-fingered knife with 440C will do me my day nearly every day. There's going to be very few days that this won't do me. You'll have to excuse me if my voice is going, as you know I still have shingles and I just feel a bit run down at the minute. But lovely pocket clip, great little knife, and for £10 you can't go wrong. AliExpress. The next one is one of my favourite brands of Chinese knives, and this is Brother. And this is a beautiful clip point with a lock. This is, I think this is G10, this one. Lovely bird eye rivet. It comes in 440C. There you go, and it is the 1512, but it's a lovely clip and a good thick clip point. Great, it's like a locking back, what can I put, a sod buster, like quite a big sod buster. It's a great big handle. That's just over a 4-inch handle on it and a 3-inch blade, so really great. You could do any work with this, and again with 440C, absolutely not a problem. You can get the more up-to-date ones now that have they have VG10, I think, on them. But 440C, absolutely fine for me. And then to my first of my sort of fancy higher-end lockbacks that I'm going to show you here today. I have a stack of lockbacks, so I couldn't go through them all. And that's why I've picked different sizes just to move up. This is Civivi, and this is their clip point lockback. Carbon fibre, supposed to take on the bolster look, and G10. Lockback is beautiful. Fit and finish is absolutely stunning on this, and it's one of the nicest clips I think you'll ever find. Completely ambidextrous, because you can open it from either side. Nail nick, well, it's more of a fuller on either side, so it's very easy to open. You don't need the strong pull in the lockback. It even has a half stop, which I don't know why they did that, but they did it. It's there. Doesn't really bother me in the slightest. But a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Highly recommended if you want to move up that ladder to better knives. Not better knives. I mean, all knives, if they're sharp, they cut. But you know what I mean. Going up to the more fancier knives, better materials, good looking. These come in, I think it's it's D2, yeah. Civivi always use D2, so it's D2 in this. A great working knife, but also a knife you could take to church and it wouldn't bother anybody at all. Lovely knife. And then I'm going to show you now my 3 favourite knives that are lockbacks. So that's the top 6 there. And here is my most used knife. The Man Bug, the Spyderco Man Bug. Sits beside me just over here, and I use it for everything. Whatever's about, I use this. Opening packages, clearing out stuff. I poke in between when I'm doing cleaning of my knives. I'll poke in between with it. I use it for absolutely anything. Cutting tape when I'm doing parcels. It's usually full of gunk, but I was a good boy and I half cleaned it. I have this little square lanyard at the back of it, and when I have this in hand with this lanyard, it's like having a 4-fingered knife with a very short blade. It's just a great little knife. This is in ZDP 189. I've never had to sharpen it. I just drop it. And I've had it for years now. And I use it daily nearly. Very rarely a day goes past. The man bug. Cell Glesser is probably his most carried knife. And the next one is one that I've still to do a review on. This is the GEC. And this is the number 83 pattern from GEC. Beautiful jigged brown bone. Lovely, lovely shield ring bolsters. The lockback is beautifully positioned there. Beautiful clip point blade. And this is the higher end. The higher end of knives that I have. And I've just recently got this and I love it. It's my first locking GEC and I loved it so much that I went ahead and bought another one. I think you've seen this, but this is the American Elk and it's the number 99. The American Elk, and this has the, the oak acorn shield, and this is in 440C. There's not many GEC knives in stainless steel. They don't tend to do them that much at all now. But I got this one. I am over the moon. Beautiful lockback, double bolstered, American Elk, and it is stunning. My first American Elk knife. It is absolutely stunning. Beautiful Wharncliffe blade. I am enthralled with this. Absolutely enthralled. You can see the etches. This is an older knife. When was it made? No, it's not. It's only 2018, but it's been used and cleaned, but it hasn't been abused, and that's all. I'll be using this. This is definitely a user in my collection. A beautiful knife. And again, there is my more expensive lockbacks. But every single one of them, I have used a lot of these in the past. I would still use this quite a lot as a carry and the Buck 55. But these two, as far as carry goes, look, there's no point me buying these and not using them. So these will be used. They're lockbacks and need to be used. I can't always carry a lockback when I'm up at home, but down the caravan, definitely. It's, it's gorgeous to carry. And even around the house, they're lovely to throw in my pocket. I love it. So there you go. I know that was a bit quick. I more or less really just wanted to tell you that Warthog is improving slowly and slowly. So lots of prayers, good thoughts. Whatever you do, send them to him and we'll hopefully hear from him soon if he gets home after his physical training. Take care, everybody. Paddy's away. Sorry, it was a terrible video, but I just want to get it out. Take care now. Bye-bye.